You know, every modern company is this incredibly complex web of people, processes, and systems. But what if I told you there's a central brain that's supposed to connect it all, but it's almost always overlooked? Okay, let's dive right into this critical idea, the operating model.
And right there, that's the heart of the problem. This is such a powerful statement because it completely flips the script on why so many huge, expensive transformation projects just, well, they fail. It's not the new software, it's the blueprint underneath it all.
And this leads us straight into what you could call the transformation paradox. You've got companies spending billions of dollars to change, but they're building on a foundation that's fundamentally cracked.
So let's be absolutely crystal clear about what an operating model really is. This is not just some org chart or a process map you stick in the drawer. It's the actual logic of your business, the architecture of the enterprise brain. Think of it like the wiring that connects every single component, making sure value gets delivered every single time.
And when that wiring is frayed, you feel the pain everywhere. You see confusion between departments. The same mistakes get repeated over and over because institutional knowledge just vanishes. Those big digital transformations, they stall out. It's this cascade of inefficiency that leads to super costly rework and just painfully slow decisions. Does any of this sound familiar?
Now, the reason so many companies get this wrong is because designing an enterprise's brain is an incredibly complex, multi-dimensional challenge. It takes a level of thinking that goes way beyond just writing things down.
And this visual, this really shows you the depth we're talking about. An operating model isn't flat, not at all. It works in layers, from that super high-level, strategic view of what the business can do, all the way down to the tiny, step-by-step actions a person takes in a system. And what's really fascinating here is how this structure formalizes those layers. A solid approach starts right at the top, with the C-suite's vision at level -1. Then it cascades down through capabilities, functions, and core processes, all the way to transactional procedures for the end users at level 4. And look, each level has a very distinct purpose and a different audience. So here's the kicker. To design this brain properly, you have to think in all of these dimensions at the same time. You have to connect that grand strategy to the tiniest workflow and make sure the people, the systems, and the data all align perfectly. It's like conducting a symphony of interconnected parts.
So, if the problem is multi-dimensional chaos, what's the answer? Well, the antidote has to be a robust, integrated structure. Because you can't manage chaos, you can only structure it.
And this is the blueprint for that solution. It's a truly integrated structure that connects everything. The delivery project, all the different business lenses like region or product, the core dimensions like people and process, and all those process levels we just talked about. It all has to link together.
And just when you thought that was complicated, it gets even more complex. See, a single model just won't cut it. A big global enterprise has to align its operating model at the group level, with its divisions, with its brands, and all its regional teams. They all have to talk to each other and work from the same shared logic.
So the challenge is pretty clear. A structure this complex can't live in a bunch of static documents. No way. It needs a living, breathing, dynamic platform to become reality. And that's the whole idea behind Modus, to create a living blueprint for the entire organization.
Now, Modus breaks this down into 3 models that you absolutely have to master. First is the live model. This is the honest truth of how your business works right now. Second, the target model. That's the blueprint for where you want to go. And third, and this is the most critical part, transformation as usual. This isn't a one-off project. It's a built-in, sustainable capability for constant evolution.
And wow, the contrast is stark, isn't it? The old way, trying to manage this with static Word docs and spreadsheets spread across different silos, that just leads to lost knowledge and these painful, disruptive projects. The Modus way, on the other hand, gives you a central digital hub, one that drives alignment, actually sustains knowledge, and enables continuous, intelligent evolution.
So let's just quickly recap the classic mistakes. Organizations often skip the really hard design work up front. They can't get their departments to align. And maybe the biggest one, no one truly owns the models, so it just gets old and decays. A platform like Modus is designed specifically to solve these fundamental problems.
Because when you finally get this right, the operating model stops being a barrier to change. Instead, it transforms into your most powerful strategic advantage. And that, right there, is the ultimate prize.
What's really crucial to grasp here is this idea of transformation as usual. Instead of these massive, risky projects every few years, the business develops an in-house, continuous capability for change. Modus literally digitizes the entire framework, the methodology, the governance, the structure, to make this a sustainable reality.
So what do you really gain? You get absolute clarity on how your business runs. Your strategy finally actually connects to execution. You slash rework, you can govern your designs, and maybe most importantly, you build a living library of institutional knowledge that powers constant improvement. Suddenly, that crazy complexity becomes manageable.
I think this quote just perfectly sums up everything we've talked about. An unstructured approach is basically a recipe for failure. But when you build your transformation on a structured, digitized operating model, success isn't just possible, it becomes inevitable.
And that, right there, is the future of enterprise design. It's a future where the operating model isn't some forgotten document, but the living, intelligent engine that drives your entire business forward. So the real question is your enterprise's brain designed for the future?